Hello, McIrish Football Fan TV. Greece 2, Republic of Ireland 1. Huge blow to qualification hopes or any sort of hopes of finishing in the top 2. I don't know why we were so flat. Reminds you of that game that we played against Bulgaria. I think might have been Kenny's first game. I'm not the Slovakia game. I think it was his first game, but it was in and around that time anyway. When Shane Duffy scored that late equaliser to draw 1-1 with Bulgaria. The game just reminded me so much of that. But it was, as someone just said there, Quincy Cook, another frustrating night. Definitely. We just kept giving them the ball. Constantly just kept giving them the ball. And it was just so annoying. Like every time we looked like we were getting any sort of bit of joy, then we just kept giving them the ball back. And I don't know why that was. I'm just sorting out the chat there. I'm just trying to make room for all you guys to get your comments in. So keep the comments coming in there and I'll for sure go through them. I'm just trying to make sure I have enough room. Even if I have to move myself over, I'll move myself over. So one sec. Just move me over and then I'll just get your guys' stuff. There we go. Right, so that's allowing you guys to get your comments in. So sorry, as I was saying, first 10 minutes we were lucky to be still in the game. Bazunu came up with 3 big saves in the first half alone, and I think 2 of them were in the first 10 minutes. Obviously the first save that he put out for a corner, and you could see him saying to the lads like, "Wake up, come on, let's get going." But for some reason we just never ever got going. It's probably the worst performance I've seen under Stephen Kenny. And look, I know people are going to blame him for his performance, but at the same time, he's not out there giving possession away. The players are ultimately out there, and either way, whatever way you look at it, I don't think there's any players that are going to, or any managers that are going to come in there and change the way these players play. Like O'Dowda, he was awful. He stunk the place out tonight. He was our worst player. He's at fault for both of the goals. I don't know what he was doing for the handball, which then obviously gave him the penalty. I don't know what he was thinking there. Like, why put your hands up in the box, put it so close to your head? It's not in an unnatural position. He puts his hand right beside his head. It's just so silly. If he can't be trusted defensively, then you got to be asking questions like, why isn't Ryan Manning being brought in there? Who actually plays that position and was in the championship team of the year, and yet he favours O'Dowda over him for whatever reason. I don't know. Whatever he's done on him, I don't know. But I just find it strange and bizarre, the fact that our best chance to go out and get a real big positive result and give fans belief, all the fans that travelled over there, give them belief, and we just folded. We let them get into the game. We let them dictate everything about us, and they capitalised. We obviously had our strong spell. It wasn't that long, but we had a couple of chances obviously after we conceded the goal, and then ultimately we got back into it with the goal from Nathan Collins. Great goal. Nice knockdown by Ferguson. And then Collins obviously arriving at the back post, and he makes no mistake. And I like what he did. He was like, right, Grant, whatever. I'll let the VAR sort that out. And we got the goal, and we were back in it. I thought it was a perfect time to score, a good response, and it showed that we weren't going to just lie down and be beaten. So we showed a little bit of fight there, but I thought we could have done a bit more. I'm going to just make that text a little bit wider there, so you can kind of get more into your comments if that's what you're trying to do. One sec. You're killing me here, lads. So I should have enough room for all your comments there now. All right. So let me just crack on with what I'm saying. All that riffraff. Okay, yeah. Look, half time 1-1. I think we're going to half time. I said, let's keep the score down to 1-1, and we did that. And yeah, I was thinking, okay, we should, be looking at this now. Second half, let's dig in here and let's try and get a result. But we just It was the same in the second half. He obviously made the subs quite early on. He took off Smallbone. He took off O'Dowda. It wasn't working. After the goal was scored, it just wasn't working. He brought on Jason Knight and he brought on James McLean. I don't think they really did that either. You know, I thought maybe McLean shored it up a little bit more, but then he was just wasteful in a lot of stuff that he did too. Knight, for me, normally when he comes off the bench in games, he makes a difference. Today, he just didn't. I don't know why. I would have started him, to be honest with you, and then brought on Smallbone. I think that could have worked better, but hindsight is hindsight, and it is what it is. I think a lot of people are pretty much saying that Kenny has to go. I can see there Cormac, who normally would have been a big advocate of Kenny. A lot of people saying Kenny. I don't know where I stand on it, because I just don't know if a manager comes in, does he do anything different? You know, will he get anything out of these players more so? You know, the only player who I can think of that might have come in there and maybe made a difference, Enda Stevens or Ryan Manning. Ryan Manning, I don't know what he's done to Stephen Kenny. I don't know. Yeah, it's just bizarre that he's not in the squad. An actual player who's doing well and in form, and we just, yeah. Raren Doe, I think it's Darren Rowe. He says Cullen had his worst game tonight. One of our few first teamers at club level. I think actually Cullen suffered with players around him just not doing their job. I could see him giving out a few times. I thought McLean, when he came on, there's a couple of times I saw him giving out, and I was just like, what are you giving out about? Just get on with the game, lads. Like, honestly, we were the victims of our own downfall tonight. You can't just say we were unlucky. We were lucky to not concede more goals. That's the only thing I would say about tonight. We honestly could have snuck a draw out of that game. We ended up losing the game, and we were poor. We were poor overall, and we never looked like getting going at all. We had our first move of the game, which was pretty decent. We got a corner within the first 15-16 seconds, and it looked like we were going to be on the march. And then all of a sudden the tide just turned, and we were up against it constantly. Did about 4 corners in the space of about 2 minutes, and they were just all over us. They were battering us. The crowd was up, and we just couldn't contain them no matter what we tried to do. And we just looked a little bit out of our depth at that point, up until Collins gets the goal. But yeah, it's very disappointing, because where do we go from here in terms of, you know, our group? Obviously, we'll be looking at Gibraltar, and if there's any sort of hiccup there, I'm not saying we're going to lose that game, but if there's even like a hint of just a draw or scraping a 1-0, Kenny's going to be under severe pressure. Obviously, look, they got their second goal. It was actually a good goal. Your man Bakesetas has a lot of quality. We obviously did the opposition preview on him, or on Greece, and we heard a lot about him. And he came up trumps. He scored the penalty. He got, I think it was an assist that he got, because he gave the ball, he nutmegged, I think it was Mikey Johnston, and who he actually came on for Adam Eade at half time. I forgot to mention, but there you go. He didn't do much either. He had one decent moment which kind of led to a Nathan Collins chance. He gave the ball out to McLean. He crossed the ball in and came out to Collins, but yeah, look, we never really recovered after the second goal. If anyone looked like they were going to win it, it was going to be them. They looked dangerous on the attack, and when we got into their half, we had hardly any bodies up in their half. And you saw, if you actually go back and watch it back, a lot of the time when they were in our half, there were so many of their players in our half, whereas when we were on the attack, it was just Ferguson in the box and nobody else. There was a great ball that Matt Doherty put into the 6-yard box, and only Evan Ferguson attacking. You'd like to think that someone like a Jason Knight arriving late into the box, almost in that kind of Frank Lampard mould, into that area, and kind of meets it. But it was never going to be it was never going to be for us. So very, very disappointing. I'm deflated after that result. I could go in and I could go hammering players, but I just don't see any point in doing it, because hammering players, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, we were completely, from a tactics point of view, we were outsmarted, we were out-tacticked, if you rather. It just wasn't a good performance tonight. I mean, you have off nights, and I understand that, and I get it. and anyone who plays football can understand, you can't have an off night. But this was the game that we really had to get ourselves up for. And Greece, they're not an amazing team, I don't think. I think we can easily match them, but we just... we just didn't look like we wanted to win it tonight. They looked more up for it. The penalty thing was a bit annoying, how long that took with the VAR. But I don't know what happened as well at the end with Doherty. I just saw him throw a little shoulder into someone, and then he got a red card. Again, that was stupid by him. But it's a good chance for Mark Sykes now to try and make a claim for that right wing back spot, I think, on Monday night. But overall, I'm just, I think someone there, Darren O'Hart-Nader says, hammer players, let them have it. Let's start O'Dowd. What was he at? Yeah, I don't know. He's at fault for both goals. I don't know why Kenny trusts him in that position. Surely not after tonight. Now he can't be trusted in that left wing back position. And ultimately, he could have cost Stephen Kenny his job tonight because, I think Cormac just said it there. He'll get the campaign. The only thing is, if you do get rid of him, who do you get in? There's not many good managers around, especially at international level. And if I hear Sam Allardyce being mentioned ever again, oh my God, I'll question people's mentalities of kind of what they actually want. I've enjoyed watching the progression of players under Stephen Kenny, not so much the results, but the progression of so many young players coming into the team. And I don't think Stephen Kenny will be the beneficiary of these players in the future. There will be another manager who I think will come in and benefit from what he's done with the other players coming through. But I just don't think that this team have enough quality in the final third. I look at someone like Andrew Moore, and I know he was on the score sheet for the under-21s tonight, but I think if he can get into the Brighton squad next season, or if he goes out on a big loan, I think he could be our answer in that position himself and Ferguson. But when you're kind of looking around the rest of the team, you rely on players who just do not play for their clubs every week to come in and try and help us get over the line. I think that's your problem straight away. But yeah, look, there's a lot of comments coming in, and I agree with a lot of them. I'm not sitting here to sound miserable or anything like that. I don't really have a lot to say, because it was poor. It was really poor, and it's hard to kind of make content and justify anything, because it just wasn't a good game for the lads. But there is hope in some sense, is that you could get a result against a Netherlands or something like that, and all of a sudden that changes the dynamic, like we did when we beat Germany at a time when Shane Long scored, and like the time when we beat Wales that time when McLean scored. So there can be changes. I don't believe that we will do that, but it has happened in the past. But this side just don't look like they have a big result in them. I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. I felt sorry for Evan Ferguson. Felt he was isolated, especially in that second half. Adam Ida didn't really do much. I could understand the substitution, but I don't think Mikey Johnson done anything to make me think that he was brilliant either. But yeah, look, they got the result. It's not a good result. But I'm gonna jump off. I am going to. I have to go into town now and try and make myself happy after watching that. It's going to be a tough task, but listen, leave your thoughts in the comments as well. I know some of you have got in with the live chat there, but also leave your comments in the actual chat. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I'll have more stuff as well, and I will have the final word tomorrow. I'm not going to bother doing player ratings because no one got above a 6, so it's just I haven't the time, and I'm on my own tonight, so I'm just not doing it. So yeah, it's just, you'll have to just deal with the match reaction, and that's that. Listen, thanks as always to everyone who got involved in the comments, and we'll have more stuff on the final word, and then we'll have our match previews and stuff like that for for Gibraltar then on Sunday as well. And we'll have the press conference from the matchday -1 out in Abbottstown as well. So I'm jumping off, lads. I will talk to you all later on. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and try not to get too depressed with that result tonight. I'll speak to you all later. Thanks for